DHL just dropped off my new tripod, and this is it. It's an Innorel RT-85C, which is a high-performance carbon fiber tripod that you can order shipped from China for just under $200. Now, if your primary experience shopping for tripods has been at your local retailer or electronics store, you may think that $200 is a lot of money to spend on a tripod. But for a carbon fiber tripod with these specifications and these features, $200 is actually an incredibly low price. If you were going to try to find something similar from Enduro or Gitzo or Really Right Stuff, you would spend between $600 and $1,000. So at $200, this represents an incredible value to photographers on a budget if it's actually any good. Now, one of the problems that I had when I was looking at buying this tripod is that there's not a whole lot of information about it online. So what I want to do in this video is give you a rundown of the general specifications and what I think about it. And then in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to get it out, take it into the field, and hopefully do a follow-up video where I tell you what it's like to actually live with. So in terms of specifications and design, the RT-85C is one of the largest and most expensive tripods that Innorel makes, and there's really not any way to get around it. It is a large tripod. It's 50 centimeters long at its most compact, and that's about 19.5 inches. To give you some idea of what kind of bag you might be able to fit it in, I can just get it in my GoRuck GR2, but if you have anything smaller than that, it's probably not going to fit. The tripod weighs about 5¼ pounds. The legs are 1,800 grams and the head is about 560. So it's not a particularly small or light tripod, but for tripods that hold 25 kilos or 55 pounds, it actually compares pretty favorably. The maximum tube diameter is 32 millimeters, which is about 1¼ inches, and the carbon fiber tubes actually feel pretty solid. So overall, I think it's actually a pretty good carbon fiber weave, and definitely has a lot of rigidity and stiffness to it. In terms of design, it's pretty much what you would expect, and very similar to a lot of other tripods I've seen come out of China recently. So a few features that are notable: the legs fold up over the center column, which makes the tripod a little bit shorter when you're actually using it. Another feature that's pretty common on Chinese tripods these days is that one of the legs, this one in fact, unscrews, and you can attach it to the center column to be used as a monopod if you do that sort of thing. Like you would expect in a tripod of this class, the rubber feet unscrew and you can screw in some spikes which come in the bag with it. So that's nice if you really want to plant the tripod down in a serious way. I ordered this tripod with the 44 millimeter ball head. It's about a $40 option, and it's, I think, pretty obviously styled on a Really Right Stuff ball head that's also a 44 millimeter head. I don't know how good it's going to be. Just in general, it is pretty smooth when it's unlocked and really tight when it's locked down. I don't know how it'll compare to my Arca Swiss monoball. I'll just have to see over the next few weeks. But all in all, for $40, it's a pretty decent ball head. This tripod is really quite large when extended as well. Obviously, you have multiple angles, as pretty much every tripod these days does. And the movement and action of the legs is pretty smooth, pretty good. I have actually had to tighten one of them down, so I'm a little worried about that, at least coming straight out of the box. The twist locks are easy to operate. You do seem to have to turn them a little bit more than on some other brands that I've seen, but for $200 I think that's actually pretty forgivable. The tubes extend easily, and once you get them in, once you lock the twist locks down, they're actually quite solid, stable. They stay in place well. This is a 4-section tripod, which means it's going to be more stable than some of the other 5-section tripods that are in this class. When you get it out and actually extended, you'll see that it is quite tall, which is great. For some perspective, I'm about 5 foot 10 inches tall and about 177 centimeters, and the top plate is at my eye level when all of the legs are fully extended and the center column is down. If I raise the center column up, it'll actually go out of shot. Innorel claims that it gets to 187 centimeters, which sounds about right. With the legs extended, it is actually pretty stable. I'm fairly impressed. I think it would easily take the 25 kilo load rating and then some as well. There's also a hook down here to add weight to it if you need to. Doesn't come with any sort of mesh bag or anything. It comes with a bag, but not with anything that you could actually load down to make the tripod a little bit more stable. To give you an idea of perspective, I have my travel tripod, which is a MePhoto Globetrotter carbon fiber tripod, and 5-section tripod. And as you can see, the head, the top of the MePhoto comes right up to the base of the Innorel, when fully extended, and the center column fully extended as well. So I'm actually quite excited about the extra height here because, you know, oftentimes you're either having to crouch over your tripod or you're in a place where you need it to be just about 6 inches higher. So I'm pretty excited about that. Overall, I think that for $200, this is a pretty decent value. Again, we'll have to sort of see how it actually performs in the field, whether these Allen wrench screws kind of come undone all the time, like it looks like they might. A couple of nitpicks. The switches here that actually let you raise the legs back to their normal position, those are made of plastic, and so we'll have to see how long it takes, how long those last in the field, whether they hold up. So that's a little bit concerning. The feet also a little bit concerning in that I'm kind of worried that they're going to unscrew themselves pretty easily. They don't actually tighten down all that well. So I'm guessing I may lose one of those on this trip. Other than that, you know, again, I think that this is a pretty decent value for $200. We'll have to see how it holds up, but I hope in a future video here in a couple of weeks to give you a good idea of how it performed on my trips. So if you have any questions about it or anything that you'd like answered, please leave a comment below and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.